everyone. Welcome back to Jane's Stories of Life. Within the last couple of weeks, I've had to travel to go several places that I was not familiar with. So of course I had to rely on my GPS to get me there. One thing I'll say about living in this Orlando area, this area is huge. And there are many parts of it I still have not seen. Traffic is horrendous in many parts. I live near Disney, so I say I live in Touristville, USA because of the amount of traffic. There are many ways to get from place to place. The main way for many places here is I-4, which is a major highway. It's a highway that I do not travel at all. At this age and stage, the traffic on I-4 is not, my reflexes and my nerves do not allow me to safely travel for myself or others on I-4. I just simply can't handle it. So I use what I call my byways. You know, there are highways and byways. People got from place to place for years before all the highways were built. And so I travel on the streets, I travel on the back roads, I travel on anything other than I-4 in this area. Of course, many people don't like the byways because of lights and more traffic, but I happen to like traveling that way. I see more things, you see the trees, you see the vegetation, you see the stores, the restaurants, the neighborhoods, and I find those things interesting. I have, of course, a story to tell about Jane and the highways and the byways, so let me share that with you as one of my memories. When we lived in Dover, Cindy was in college in Petersburg, Virginia, at Virginia State University. So one day I decided to go spend the day with her. I drove down the old way, which was 301, instead of taking I-95, which is a major roadway through the kind of the eastern, East Coast area. Also one that all the trucks and all the traffic seem to travel. But 301 is the old way, so that's the way that I traveled. I also came back on 301. And that evening when I was coming back, the part that I was on was, divided 2 lanes in each direction with a median of grass in between and trees. And so I was riding along and I saw something ahead on my left in the median, and I thought, that's rather odd that they would put statues in the median. In the middle of nowhere, there's a statue there of deer. Well, guess what? Of course, as I moved a little closer, I discovered that was not a statue at all. Instead, there were 2 deer grazing in the median there on 301, and I had to laugh. I said, here I am, the city child, Urban Annie herself, totally unused to wildlife and things of that sort, thinking there was a statue when instead it was the real thing. But as I say, I like traveling the old ways. The GPSs, of course, always want you to take the highway. Even if I'm just going to the mailbox down at the corner, if I put on my GPS, she would probably say, turn left and go to I-4 and to exit blah, 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 blah. And I talk to my GPS. I say, oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm going my own way. And so I've discovered, many things about this area, just traveling on my own. I have a cousin who lives in Atlanta. She's lived in Atlanta for years, worked at Spelman College, traveled back and forth, and she never used the highway system in Atlanta. And for years I thought, well, what a waste of time, to travel through the streets and not use the highway. Well, I talked to her the other day and I was telling her, that I was going to do this video about highways and byways. And she said, that Atlanta had a big snowstorm several years ago, and she said, by traveling the way that she travels, she was able to get home that evening after work when a lot of other people were absolutely stuck for hours and hours on the highways because of the traffic and the snow and the accidents and things like that. So sometimes the byways are better than the highways. Life is like that too. There are times in life when we are in a hurry and we are, trying to accomplish things, and we take what seems like the fast path. But in reality, sometimes it's the slow, steady pace that gets us where we're going. And so as we go through life, don't hesitate sometimes to take your time. There are times, of course, when you're in a hurry, you need to get things done, but take the time and do things a slower way sometime. So as you travel through the highways and byways, whether you're driving, whether you're navigating your path along life, whichever way you go, happy trails to you, safe travels, cherish your memories, and pass them on.